Hello, my sexy, badass aliens on the internet. We have a glorious new moon in Pisces with a buildup of a shit ton of planets joining it. If you would, hang out with me. Let's talk about it. As always, you want to definitely stay tuned for the first part of this video before you go skipping ahead to your sign, because the first part of this video is the context, okay? It is the juice of the whole freaking video, all right? I briefly go over what this means for your rising sign at the end, but we don't spend too long on that because I go over so much of what's happening in the first half of this video. So that's why you want to watch the first half before you watch the second half, because the second half just builds on the first half and it will make so much more sense when you get to your sign. You'll have so much more context. You'll know exactly how this is going to be affecting you all the way around, instead of just hopping to your sign, getting a couple-minute horoscope and thinking that you know how this is going to play out, because you don't if you're missing the first part of this video, okay? Anyways, let's go ahead and get into what is coming with this Pisces new moon and what this means for all of us. Are we going to die? Are we going to make it? Are we going to live? We're going to be fine. That's okay. But it is the start of a major month ahead that we definitely need to talk about here on the channel. Also, if you missed my last video about what you need to know about 2025, you are missing out on a lot, okay? I had a whole section for March, this upcoming month, in there, and you want to know, because if you know the actual like themes of this year and the story that's playing out, it'll make so much more sense. Like the comments that those of you that have watched it have left on this video are like, oh my god, this makes me feel so much better, this changed my whole perspective, this is already so on point, I get it now. Like, you want to watch that video. It's a good video, and I put a lot of work into it, okay? Like months of notes and drawing different themes and research and all of it. So go watch that video, pretty please, and thank you. So with that being said, if I can figure out how the hell to get my screen going here, we will start on this Pisces new moon and showing you the chart and all that jazz. Okay, so Pisces new moon chart should be up on the mother effing screen. As you can see, we have a new moon here in the sign of Pisces, okay? How do I know it's a new moon? Because the sun and the moon are together in the sky, in the sign of Pisces, okay? That's how I know that it's a new moon. And so, as always, what the fuck is a new moon? A new moon is when the sun and the moon get together in the sky. The moon basically goes dark. We can't see her. She ghosts us for a little bit. But this basically means something new is being created. Something new is coming. Source does not like to see us, does not like us to see the creation process. That's why it happens in the dark. It's mysterious. That's why there's, a baby is born in the womb and an idea just kind of comes into your mind, you know what I mean? Out of nowhere. Where did it come from? Who knows, right? So anyway, creation happens in the dark. That's why new moons signal new beginnings. Okay, so this new moon is telling us, hey, there is some kind of new beginning happening here in the sign of Pisces, right? And I know it's in the sign of Pisces. As you can see, the symbol of Pisces is right there, and we are in Pisces season. The sun is in Pisces, okay? So we have a new moon in the sign of Pisces. What the hell is Pisces? What does Pisces stand for? Well, I explained this a lot in my last video, but again, if you didn't watch that, Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. Therefore, it is about transcendence in a lot of ways. Metaphorically, it is the spirit leaving the body, us unburdening ourselves from the heaviness, the density of the world, and the density of life, and the density of all of the things that we accumulate while we are here on this earth. The heavy things, the heavy emotions, the heavy guilt, the heavy, burdens that we kind of accumulate, heavy karma, right? And so because we have, as you can see, so much happening in Pisces, the universe is basically like, yo, there are some things that we need to unburden on ourselves. This is the path. We need to trust. We need to have faith. Why? Because when you are going towards the light, which Pisces is, right? Pisces is going from the darkness to the light. Wow, that was a very, very thick arrow. From the darkness to the light. And when you are going from the darkness to the light, and you can see, there's a sense of hope, right? Like I woke up the other morning and the sun was out for the first time. When I woke up, like all winter, because I wake up early to take my son to school, all that. So woke up and the sun was shining in the window, and I was like, oh my god, this is glorious. Like it was so motivating, especially as a Leo rising. I'm like, the sun is back. Yes. It's been so like gray and cloudy and just dark, you know, like we've been going through the tunnel of winter, through the darkness, and Pisces is the last sign of winter. We are coming out of the darkness and going into the light. And so it's very easy to be more optimistic, to be more hopeful as spring is coming. We can feel this new beginning starting seasonally, right? Because Aries, the sign after Pisces, is the first, you know, is basically the start of spring, right? And so this is the new beginning, the astrological new year. And so as we move through Pisces, it's like, okay, like we need a refresh. We need to cleanse. We need to clean our houses. We need to get our shit together. We need to let go of whatever baggage and burdens and karma we've been carrying that just isn't the vibe anymore. That's just not really vibing with us anymore. We need to let go of the emotional conflicts that we've had, and we're going to be spending all of March doing just that, and really all year on and off, because we do have the node in Pisces now. So this is going on in the background all year, and this is just the start of it. This is the start of clearing karma. Okay, clearing karma. What goes around comes around. This is a year that is basically the come around part. Okay, it went around. Okay, it went around for a while. This is the coming around. Okay, so this is us making peace with our past, learning to forgive ourselves. Again, like you have to think, this is the last sign of the zodiac, endings, the spirit leaving the body metaphorically. Like, okay, like let's say like physical death, right? Like when you are leaving the body, when you are dying, you don't want to hold on to anything. You don't want to hold on to resentments. You don't want to hold on to all of the heavy, grimy shit. You know, like a lot of that stuff doesn't matter anymore. Like we're like, okay, like I need to let this go now. I need to forgive myself. I need to forgive so-and-so. I need to, you know, we see the bigger picture because Pisces is a Jupiter ruled sign, right? So we see the bigger picture. We are more optimistic. We have faith. We have hope because the light is on its way. The light is being born again. We are starting to see the light. And so it's like, okay, I have faith. I have hope. I can surrender to what is and accept what is and not keep needing to fight it anymore, right? So this is like a purification, right? Pisces season is like a purification of us really cleansing out what is no longer energetically congruent with the lives that we want to live. And so it really is like, you know, going to bring up whatever emotional stuff needs to be confronted, whatever karma needs to be confronted, karmic contracts, things from the past, right? That we haven't fully let go of yet, that it's time to let go of, that it's time to surrender, things that need to dissipate. Okay. And this is huge because, you know, Mercury, which is in Pisces, which is also in fall and detriment in Pisces, because this is like its least favorite sign to be in because Mercury is about facts, details, data. Give it to me, you know. Pisces is water. It's confusing. It's mutable water going every which way. You know, the ocean's just going to knock over your checkerboard, you know, or not. It's going to like completely wet all of your data and all of your papers, you know, like, so Mercury here is like blind trying to figure out what it's doing. And so, but Mercury is going to move into Aries in March. Okay. This thickness is... She's gotta go a little bit. Okay, so Mercury's gonna move forward into Aries in March, and then it's going to retrograde back, along with Venus as well. Venus is also going to be retrograding back in March. March is such a huge month, and I do have March horoscopes coming soon with a little bit of a, preview in the beginning about how this is all gonna go down. But so we have tons of shit happening in Pisces in March, and Aries. Aries is going to be another big one, but this Pisces new moon is like the start of it. This is where we get a little bit of a taste, some subtle clues as to what the next month is going to be about, and it's going to be huge. As I said in my You Need to Know This About 2025 video, like this is the month that is the start of a disillusionment process, like basically a dissipation process, an awakening process, like a reckoning, right? And this is going to be somewhat crazy for some people, and I do think that we are going to see a lot of mixed emotions, like the confusion is starting to dissipate. The fog is starting to clear, and so much is going to come out. This is going to be so related to health because Pisces and Virgo, the Pisces and Virgo axis is so related to the healthcare system. So I think we're going to see a lot in relation to the healthcare system coming out and being exposed. Things like just so many things, like, you know, the different ways that we've been poisoned, you know, chemtrails, food, like it's so many different ways that what they've been putting into, and I mean, we're already seeing some of this, and that's why I'm also bringing this up, is because we're already seeing the start of this, right? And so this is going to be very, very insane and very, very crazy, a very crazy month. So much is going to be exposed, and it's gonna be very interesting. So I think with this is that this Pisces new moon is also in a square, as you can see here, with Jupiter, which is the ruler of this Pisces new moon, since Jupiter rules Pisces, okay? And so this is really interesting. But Mercury, which rules Gemini, is in Pisces as well. Whoops. Is in Pisces as well. And so so Jupiter and Mercury are in a mutual reception right now, is what we call it in astrology. They're basically in each other's signs, okay? And so this is really interesting. Mercury is not necessarily conjunct this new moon, but it's still in the same sign. And so there is a lot of, the way that I would kind of put this is like, we may have trouble figuring out what is fact and what is fiction, okay? I think that, you know, with Pisces energy, like I said, Mercury doesn't like to be in Pisces because Mercury is all about the data, the facts, the details, and Pisces is not about that. It's like about just believing and having faith, right? And so I think that there's going to be information that comes out. There's going to be a lot of information that comes out this month that is exposed in the month ahead, and potentially starts being exposed right around this new moon, which happens on February 27th, by the way. And we're going to be wondering, we're going to be a little bit confused, but more will be revealed, okay? More will be revealed. And so I think that this is kind of bringing up these polarities between believing and like actually, you know, belief in facts, basically. Like, what's the truth? What's the facts, and versus what do we believe? And I think some of the facts that could come out could make us question what we really believe. Or we could believe so much that we're ignoring the facts that are coming out. And so this new moon is asking us to have faith, but also don't ignore the details. Don't ignore the facts. You know, a Jupiter square isn't like a normal square. It can still be positive. So I do think it's like giving us some hope, but from a different angle, or showing us a new side of something, or giving us a new perspective on something right before we are entering March, basically. Okay, so this is a really interesting little time, okay? And it's coming right before, like, this is the calm before the storm, basically. We also have Mars beautifully now direct, no longer retrograde. So a lot of the like feeling like we're running through water energy and the slowing down, and it feels like nothing's working, and just this tiredness that I think has plagued so many people over the last couple months with Mars being retrograde in Cancer. Mars is now moving direct, so this also very much helps us, gives us some of our motivation back, helps us start to move forward on the things that we have realized and the things that we've learned in the last couple months, right? So it's a very interesting time, and I think that we are, you know, really kind of, you know, starting this new beginning basically with this Pisces new moon of cleaning things out, cleansing, purifying, figuring out, like starting a new beginning with what we believe. A new chapter is forming when it comes to what we believe, when it comes to our faith, when it comes to letting go, when it comes to clearing karma and letting go of the bullshit, right? Like this month is the start of us being kind of disillusioned and seeing where we need to shed the bullshit, reflecting on the past and really figuring out what is true and what isn't, and who we really are despite all of these things. Because some of these things that I think are going to be exposed, like I talked about in my last video, is going to really make a lot of people question who they even are and what they even believe anymore, what's even real anymore. I mean, this is going to be a really, really big kind of wake the fuck up moment, like a cosmic, you know, spanking on the ass to be like, hey, Like, whatever has been going on has not really been what you think it is. There's been a lot of fogginess. There's been a lot of confusion. You know, there's been just a lot of BS. And like I said in my last video, this year is cutting through the BS with all this Aries energy. It's like, it's time to be direct. It's time to be straightforward. It's time to be honest. You know, it's time to stop being a victim with this Pisces energy, right? Because the shadow side of Pisces is victimhood and addiction and kind of repeating the same cycles over and over again and kind of like blaming the universe and feeling like the universe is out to get us and, you know, being caught in some delusion or some fantasy that like someone else needs to come save us or someone else has the power. And a lot of planets are going to be moving out of Pisces and into Aries, where it's going to be like, no, you have the power. If you want things to change, it's up to you. Okay. But first, we have to come back and again, really deal with some karmic stuff, clear out some karma, like make peace with some stuff from the past. And this new moon is like, hey, get ready, because March is about to be a wild ride. And if you're questioning things now, if you don't know all the facts and the truth or whatever just yet, hang on, have faith, because you will. This new moon is basically like, you may not know all the answers right now. You may not know whatever you think you know, you may not. Right now, you need to have hope, you need to trust, and you need to believe in the divine plan that is unfolding, okay? And, you know, we need to let go of any victimhood and any, you know, BS that we've been, these like false illusions and realities that we've been living under, okay? Because, I mean, this is the time, right? And this new moon, in this moon cycle, the next moon event that we're going to have is the lunar eclipse in Virgo, the full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo, you know, which is a completely different energy. And it's going to be about literally doing the physical things to clean out our lives, like physically cleaning out our lives, physically purifying our lives, physically getting down to the nitty gritty, the details, and letting go of things that we thought we once knew, old judgments, old information, old shit. You know, like with Virgo, there's like, you know, and a lot of the things that are going on, especially in like the US right now with like the auditing and stuff and the cutting waste. This is very South Node in Virgo and North Node in Pisces. It's very much like, but we're seeing this collectively, and I've been saying this for a while, even before all that happened. Since the end of last year, I've said the first part of this year is going to be about making space. But we're all doing this in some way or another in our lives. Like, we are all making some mother effing space. We are all cleaning out our lives, like with a broom. Clean it up, clean it up, clean it up. Get our side of the street clean and clear. And so we can come at life in a pure Aries energy by being transparent, direct, who we are by that time, like knowing who we are, right? Like the universe, I mean, literally, you guys, like this is insane. The universe is really making sure that we have our Piscean shit together before we move to Aries. And we see that with, you know, basically Venus going retrograde at 10 Aries, Mercury going retrograde at 9 Aries, the solar eclipse at the end of March at 9 Aries, you know what I mean? And Venus and Mercury retrograding back into Pisces, right? And then Neptune moving into Aries, and then Saturn moving into Aries. So it's like, basically, we have this astrological kind of like, what do I want to call it? This astrological assistance, right? With being like, okay, we're going to move forward. We're going to give you a little bit of what's coming. And then we're going to go back and make sure that you really understand this and got this. Like, make sure that you really, really got it. No, but do you? No, but do you? Right? And then while we're doing that, we are making the way. And then as we're moving forward again, boom, new era starts with Neptune moving into Aries, the solar eclipse in Aries, then Saturn in Aries. And then by the end of the year, they retrograde back into Pisces again to make sure that you got it again before they move forward again. And so, like I've been saying, the universe is really, really making sure that we are clearing something here, that we are really ending something, that we are really letting go of something and cleaning something out in our lives for good before we move forward. Okay. And the more that we trust in that, and the more that we trust in the divine plan, and the more that we let go, and the more that we clean things out in our lives and clear karma, right? And so that means like anything that you're holding on to, anything that's a burden in your life, whether internally or externally, like this is going to be the time where it comes up. And this is going to be where the time where the universe puts it in your face because you're ready to face it. You're ready to deal with it. Okay, so that is what this new moon is about, and I'm working on March horoscopes, so be on the lookout for those. They'll be coming hopefully before March 1st. So be on the lookout for those as well. And if you watched the first part of this video, OG, thank you very, very much. Make sure to comment down below and let me know by commenting badass alien. I appreciate you. Okay, so with that being said, we are going to move on and look at the horoscopes for each sign now. So you can get your horoscope for your rising signs. I am a traditional Hellenistic astrologer, tropical astrologer, so keep that in mind when you are listening to these horoscopes. I always recommend that you listen to your whole sign. You listen to your horoscope by your actual rising sign and your whole sign houses, your whole sign chart, basically, because that's how I read it. Okay, so anyway, alrighty, Pisces risings, this new moon for you is in your first house. So this is obviously some kind of new beginning for you, your identity, who you are, getting back to yourself, your appearance, your body, your health, things all related to this. Okay, a new moon in your first house is like a fresh new energy kind of coming in here, right? But you may, with new moons, we don't always feel them right at first. We'll start noticing the themes as the days and weeks go on. But this is setting the tone for the month ahead of March, okay? Which is a very big month, one of the craziest months of the year. It is a psychedelic time, and you have a conglomerate of planets in your first house this month, okay? And some of them will be retrograding back in, for later in March, at the end of March. So, there's a lot going on for you right now, okay? There's a lot of things that you are probably thinking about or probably dealing with. And I'd love to know, as a Pisces rising, how you guys are feeling this like buildup of, energy, this buildup of transits happening in your first house. I mean, there's a large focus here on you, really looking at yourself and looking at, different things. Like this is a month where this is a new moon that could bring in the idea of like going on a cleanse, purifying your body, purifying your life, forgiving yourself for the past, and if you missed the first part of this video, you definitely need to go watch it because you will definitely relate to it as a Pisces rising. It'll give you a lot more context. But either way, this is a time of learning to trust yourself, learning to trust who you are, maybe feeling connected to the divine or to some higher plan or to some divine calling, and really understanding who you are and why you're here and what you want. Like this is all about you. Right? Now, this may tie in topics of like family in some way as well, with your ruling planet Jupiter being in the fourth house and this new moon squaring Jupiter. So this could be bringing up some potential new perspectives or new ideas regarding family, or even things from the past could be coming in. Maybe there's, something that you're looking to kind of change there, or looking to see in a new light there in some way. But anyway, this is a time for you. This new moon in your sign is definitely bringing up those themes of self, those themes of, identity and appearance, and reflecting on a lot of those things. You've had to learn a lot of hard lessons, over the last couple of years with Saturn in your sign kind of restricting you. And, this is just such like a karmic time, a karmic clearing out. Just so many different things. Closure, it's like you could be, it could bring up a sense of nostalgia for your past or your childhood. And that could be something that you're working on releasing or working through as well. Mercury is in your sign, and Mercury is the ruler of your seventh house. So, some of you could be seeing, this could be bringing in like relationships with other people, how other people see you, but even more so how you see yourself and what you want to do and how you want to operate like in the world. Okay, and so this is a definite new chapter starting here that's like preparing you for what's coming, that has a lot to do with you and your purpose and your soul and your sense of self and identity in this life, and what you really want, what you really desire, what is really, really, truly on your heart as a Pisces rising. Okay, and so this is like getting to know yourself in a whole new way. This could be a time where you are really like going through this disillusionment of who you thought you were and realizing that, like remembering who you really are or something like that, especially as we go on into March. And so anyways, let me know down below, Pisces risings, how you guys are noticing this. I would really love to hear your feedback. And if you watched up until this point, if you watched like your whole horoscope, comment down below, sexy Pisces rising, so I know. And we're going to move on to Aries rising. So for my lovely Aries risings, this is a new moon for you that is highlighting this insane, crazy psychedelic month, the psychedelic spring that is coming in here. And this new moon is just kind of the start of it. And it's really highlighting this conglomerate shit show of planets stacking up in your 12th house in the sign of Pisces. And so for you, really, like especially Aries, this new moon and a lot of these Pisces transits is really about closure and letting go and forgiveness and, letting go of burdens. Like I talked extensively about this in the first half. So if you missed that, definitely go back and watch. But for you, especially that first half of the video is true. Like all these Pisces themes are really bringing up this sense of transcendence of something old, transcendence of old lessons, transcendence of things that have held you down, and closure and letting go and releasing and forgiving and, endings and all kinds of things, right? Health related issues, addictions, like the universe is like, yo, your 12th house Pisces, look here, right? Like right freaking here. Like the universe is like pointing its finger massively at your Pisces 12th house. Okay, so it's like, where have you been burdening yourself? Where have you been stuck in old cycles, self-sabotaging, all these things? This new moon is just the start. It's the start of a chapter that's forming here, that's coming here, that's building here for the rest of March and into April. That's like, yo, we got to clear some shit out before we can make way for the new. We got to clean up our lives. Purification, detoxing, reflection, all of these things are huge. Okay, self-sabotage, old cycles, like this is clearing some massive, massive karma if you're an Aries rising right now. Like no joke. This is clearing some massive, massive karma. And it's a very intuitive time too. It's not a time, with Jupiter, the ruler of this, and your third house and Mercury and your 12th. This is not a time for like knowing exactly all the details of how it's going to play out. This is a time of trusting intuitively what you're feeling drawn to, surrendering, having faith in whatever is coming up for you at this time. And I'm very, very intrigued to know, if you're an Aries rising, what you are noticing coming up for this new moon and into the month of March as well. Because this is like, this is insane for you if you're an Aries rising. This is like massive divine surrender. Like the universe is like, sit down, surrender, let this go. And it could feel good. For some of you, this could be like a choice. This could be like you going to a retreat and, really healing something that you've been struggling with for a long time. Or, I'm not saying that it's like necessarily going to be like really bad or anything. It just depends, obviously on your own chart and all that. But if anything, I feel like this is just a massive, massive, massive purging, letting go, going inwards. You're really going to feel this strong, strong pull to get away, to go inwards. Things can feel overwhelming very easy in your everyday life. Like this is a time to relax, to go in, to get your Buddha on, to get your guru on, to get your spiritual priestess mystic on, like this is that time to get your woo-woo on, okay? Because you're going to need it. You're going to need it. All right. So let me know down below, Aries, what you guys are noticing with this, with these things. Again, you may not notice this right on the new moon. You may not notice this right on the 27th. This is more going to build over the next couple weeks. Okay. So in the next month or so. So just be aware of that, right? Be aware of that. And if you missed the first half, go back and watch it. And also comment sexy Aries rising down below so I know you watched your horoscope. Okay, so Taurus risings for you guys, this new moon in Pisces is in your 11th house, okay? Really, really, really big time that's coming here to do with a massive focus on your 11th house of the people you surround yourself with. Are you seeing them clearly? The people you thought you aligned with, the values that you thought you shared with other people, the values that you thought you had with certain groups, certain alliances, are they really who they say they are? Are these really your people? Like, who's your tribe? Who's not your tribe? Where do you fit in? Where do you not? Have you been true to your soul? Have you been true to yourself? You know, this brings up marketing, networking, alliances, you know, all of that. So this new moon is some kind of new beginning that is kind of setting the tone for the next several weeks into March and even April of this massive Pisces focus that we're going to have of clearing things out, purification, forgiving. You know, this could be a time where people come back around from your past, and it's like, you know, what goes around comes around. There's a lot of synchronistic stuff happening here with the people in your life, the people that you align with. This may be a time to forgive and let go, or cut certain people out, or like just completely hit a reset button on friendships, etc. Do a purification. You know, this could also be a time of you finding more soul aligned people in your life, and especially in your community, as like Mars and Cancer is trining a lot of these aspects going through your 11th house. You know, you really setting the tone and maybe setting out to find more community, more collaboration, more people that you really align with that really make more sense for you. Okay, but just, you know, there's also with this Pisces energy, like I said, the start of some kind of disillusionment happening. And so I think that it could be either one for some of you. Like, some of you guys could see that maybe certain things that you thought about other people or about the world or about certain groups and ideologies that you thought you belonged to start to dissipate, or the truth coming out, and it may be very confusing, and you may start questioning where your values and morals truly lie, right? For some of you. Or if these people align with your values, with Jupiter in your second squaring this new moon, right? Your integrity, your values, what really is important to you, what really matters to you, right? So let me know down below if you're a Taurus rising, how that is resonating, and comment sexy Taurus rising down below, boo, because you are. I hope you guys have a great new moon, and if you missed the beginning, go watch because you're missing out on a lot. And okay, let's move on to my lovely Gemini risings. This new moon for you is happening in your 10th house of career and your reputation and your legacy and your future and your goals and the things that you really work towards in your life and your lifetime. You know, like the big things that you want out of life. And with this massive shit show of planets happening in Pisces in your 10th house, the universe really is like spanking you on your ass to get your attention, to focus here, to be like, what do you really want on a soul level? What illusion have you had about your life or about the world or about your goals or about your future that isn't actually what you really desire and what you really want? Like, I think this is the big question that's going to start coming in as we start going into March. What do you really want? What's important to you? This Mars retrograde in your second was the start of it. What do you really want? What's important to you? What's on your heart? What are your morals? What are your values? Right? Like, what are you willing to fight for in your life? And is this idea of your future, or this thing that you're building in your life, or this career, or this image that you have of yourself, or this reputation that you've built for yourself, is this really it? Is it pure? Is it transparent? Is it like soul aligned, right? Like, is it what you really, really desire for your life, or has it been somewhat of an illusion? Now, for some of you, that could be the case. And for others of you, this is like you really just reflecting on your future and what you really want, and your idea of the future, and your idea of your goals, and your idea of your reputation, you know, and things like this. I mean, this could be bringing up like authority figures and stuff for some of you guys as well, you know, but this is a massive, massive time that is having you also question yourself with Jupiter in your sign. What are your morals? What are your values? What are your ethics? And how do you express those and convey those in the world, or in the public, or in your career, right? And so this new moon is the very first drop in the water that's going to ripple out into the next couple months. Okay, so this new moon's the start of it. You may not feel it right on this new moon, but it's going to build over the next couple weeks. So let me know down below, Gemini, if any of that resonated, if any of that spoke to you. I'm going to be doing monthly horoscopes that are going to be coming out soon, where I'm going to go deeper, so don't worry. Also, if you missed the first half of this video, you're missing out. Boo, go watch it, and comment sexy Gemini rising down below if you watched, because you are. Okay, so moving on to Cancer risings. For Cancer risings, this new moon is happening in your 9th house, so there is a huge kind of universal finger pointing to your 9th house and being like, this is important for whatever reason. Okay, so your ideologies, your beliefs about life, your beliefs about the world, your beliefs about why you're here or where you come from, your own sense of spirituality, your own educational pursuits, travel pursuits, what you're doing here and the meaning of life and all that jazz, right? Like, this is kind of the name of the game. Now, with this being your 9th house, this may not be as intense for you, as intense of a time for you, just because the 9th house is a bit broad. I find at times, and transits through the 9th can be a bit hard to pin down, but this is still trining Mars in your sign, and so you likely will be feeling this to some degree, okay? I think you're like becoming more aware of what you really want to do, potential travel pursuits that you want to go down, or educational pursuits, or belief changes, or ideology changes that you want to make, or having a sense of purpose and freedom in the world could be a focus for you, or more of a focus for you right now, how you want to create the different beliefs or ideologies that you have in the world, right? That could be another one for some of you guys. But either way, there is a large focus on, having trust, faith, and compassion when it comes to your world views and how you view the world right now. Surrendering the things that you can't control, that you don't have control over, especially to do with bigger topics that, you have no control over, like what's going on in the world, or your worldviews, or your beliefs, or the future, etc. These things could definitely be coming up and could be part of it. So let me know down below. This new moon is definitely kind of the start of a chapter that's forming over the next couple months. So let me know down below, Cancer risings, how that's resonating, and watch the first half of the video for more context, and also comment down below sexy Cancer rising, because you are. And we are going to move on to my fellow Leo risings. So okay, my fellow Leo risings, this new moon for you is happening in our 8th house, our 8th house, which can be a very interesting time. Honestly, I personally like having Pisces as our 8th house because it is a Jupiter ruled sign, so I would prefer that much more than like a Mars or Saturn ruled sign personally, but that's just me. I noticed that a lot of Pisces transits really can deal a lot with releasing things, releasing karma, like I talked about in the beginning, soul contracts, and those coming back around. But this new moon is a start of something that's building over the next couple months, and I think this is going to be like us getting our woo back on, getting really back into energy, potentially manifestation with Pisces in the 8th house, potentially, occult practices to do with money, abundance, resources, relationships, personal power, things like this. I think this is the start of that. This new moon in Pisces is marking this new chapter that's building over the next couple of months of this massive 8th house focus that we have of surrendering and having faith in what we can't control, and actually finding power in that in some way, right? This is also bringing up kind of finances, and I think in a lot of ways, like us letting go or dealing with burdens or old debts from the past, or paying things off, or getting money that's been owed to us, and a lot of these things will play out over the next couple of months, not exactly on this Pisces new moon, so just keep that in mind. But this is just the drop in the water that's going to ripple out over the next month, well, more like a rock in the water that's going to ripple out over the next couple of months. But this is definitely a time of us really getting back to the things that really matter to us, and us clearing the bullshit of illusions or things that we've been telling ourselves that don't really matter anymore. Okay. And, Mars is in our 12th house. It's finally moving direct, which is so good for us. Like, that lack of motivation and the constant fatigue or tiredness is going to start resolving some. I think things are going to start moving forward more. We're going to get some motivation back. It may be easier to sleep now. We've been letting go of a lot already. We've been cutting things out a lot already. We've been dealing with painful things from the past, or intense situations to do with potentially home and family or personal things from the past. But we are clearing major karma here still. There's a lot of karma, I believe, that we're clearing, and I believe that's a lot of what these 8th house transits are really representing for us. This clearing of karma, whether it be financial, whether it be energetic, whether it be relational, with relationships, so many things. It's like we have to let go of certain burdens once and for all, whether it's financially, whatever the case may be, before we can move forward. So I'd love to hear my fellow Leo risings. Please sound off down below and let me know how you guys are feeling this energy, or how you guys are, thinking this energy is going to play out for us. I would love to, or just you in particular, I'd really love to hear your feedback down below. And comment down below, sexy Leo rising, because you are. And if you missed the beginning, you are missing out, my fellow Leo risings, because you're likely going to relate to a lot of the things I said. So go back and watch that as well. Okay. Virgo risings, darling. So for my lovely Virgo risings, this Pisces massive, new moon with all of these planets, like just, in Pisces is happening in your 7th house. So like I said in your 2025 predictions, Virgo, this is a time of learning to trust, and that can be hard. You are learning massive lessons that not everything is in your hands, that you can't control everything, that you've got to give things up. You've got to delegate. You've got to let things go. You've got to almost like place the trust in other people's hands sometimes and accept people for who they are and let things go, and also, but on top of that, like not completely lose yourself in the process. And so it's like, being honest with yourself and, learning when you may be the problem, and also learning when, you need to just, what am I trying to say here, Tawny? What are we saying? Basically, this kind of polarity between self and other, okay? Like learning when to let go and trust other people, and learning when to trust yourself, basically. That's kind of the name of the game here, because I'm not saying that everybody in your life is going to be trustworthy at this time, but you're going to notice a pattern where you are continually running into situations where you just have to have faith, or where you don't have the power here to control the outcome, right? And so this new moon and new chapter is kind of a start in that. Where do you need to surrender? Where do you need to allow other people to kind of show you the way, or listen to other people, or listen to the wisdom of other people? Where do you need to let go and have faith in something higher than yourself, or some kind of divine plan? This is starting a new chapter in your relationship. So some of you guys could have went through, some major changes in your relationships recently, and this could be a new beginning starting here, that really kind of cleans the slate, or clears the way, or starts, the beginning of purifying your kind of relationship life, and learning to clear karma here, cleanse this space in some way. Things coming back around, over the next few weeks could really, really be a huge theme here. So watch out for that. But anyways, that is what I'm seeing for you guys, Virgo. Comment down below, sexy Virgo rising, because you are. If you'd like more context, then go watch the first half of this video. I'm also coming out with the March monthly horoscopes in the next couple of days, so stay tuned for that as well. Alrighty, Libra risings. Okay, so this Pisces new moon for you is in your 6th house of your health, okay? This is your day-to-day life, your routines, your job, like what you do on a day-to-day basis, like the ways in which you take care of yourself, okay? And your responsibilities, your duties, your pets, things like this. So you're going to see a lot of topics to do with that coming up in the next several weeks, as the universe is making a big statement here with all of these planets and transits happening in Pisces over the next couple of months. You are really, really being guided to clean up your life, clean out the old, like, dream bigger, see the possibility, have faith, right? Get creative and surrender to your creative impulses and what your soul really wants in terms of like what's nourishing for you, what's refreshing for you, how you take care of yourself in your life in these areas. And so this new moon is kind of the ripple, like the drop of water being, dropped into the water that's just like rippling, right, over the next several weeks. And so this is a new chapter forming here in this area that's starting this massive push over the next several weeks of you refreshing and purifying your life, whether that is with your work, your health, or your day-to-day tasks and duties, and how you really take care of yourself. Your sense of discipline, your sense of progress, your sense of structuring your life in a way that flows and feels good for you. But it's also dealing with karma in this area and cleaning up karma in this area. So, kind of looking at your health in this inside out way, or looking at your life in this inside out way, how your internal world affects your external world and affects these different areas of your life, the task, your environment, your work, your health, and all of these things. So I think a lot of you guys over the next several weeks, you could be going on some kind of cleanse, or, cleaning things out in some way, like, detoxing or purifying yourself in some way, shape, or form. And, this is adding a lot, because it's like whatever you're doing here, this could even be some kind of healing that you're doing inside out in some way, or some kind of alternative healing regime that you're going on in some way. But whatever you're doing here is really in some way in communication with your career and your long-term goals and what you want for your future and what you want for your life and where you see yourself going in life. And so this is kind of a big deal. It's like, I really feel like you guys are like, I know I need to put in this work and let certain things go and create space in my life, and, look at my health and my emotional health and my energetic health, look at my daily task and my daily jobs and, all of that, and figure out a way to make it more fluid, or to flow better, or to feel better, because of where I want to go, or where I see myself going, or the direction that I want to go in my life and my career with my long-term goals, etc. Right? And I feel like some of you guys, this could even be bringing up your sense of ethics, or a sense of ethics, morality, ideologies, certain questions about those things with this new moon squaring Jupiter in your 9th house, and Jupiter being the ruler of this new moon happening in your 6th house. Okay, so that could be tied into like your work or your health in some way as well. So let me know down below, Libra risings, how that is resonating. What are you seeing come up? How are you noticing this playing out in your life? Again, you may not notice this right on the Pisces new moon on the 27th, or you could, okay, but you will see these themes really building over the next few weeks, okay, over the next several weeks actually. So pay attention, comment down below, sexy Libra rising, because you are. And if you missed the first part of this video, you're really missing out. It can give a lot more context, so make sure to go back and check that out. Okay, so alrighty, moving on to my lovely Scorpio risings. My chart just completely screwed up here, so let me fix it. Come on, what are we doing? Okay, there we go. Okay, Scorpio risings, this new moon is happening in your 5th house, and this is a beautiful place to really have a lot of this stuff happening, other than the fact that the 5th house can rule children. So this can be kind of a volatile time for children, or topics to do with children, during the next several weeks, okay? But I don't mean that, like, I don't want you to be scared. I don't think you have anything to necessarily fear here, but there just could be a lot of like emotional things coming up, or a lot of questions or things that you're having to face, or, even how it's related to something financially in your life, with the ruler of your 5th being in your 8th, these next couple months, with Jupiter being in your 8th basically. And so either way, though, I think that this is a really beautiful spot to have a lot of these things happening. Why? That's because of what I talked about in your 2025 year ahead horoscope as Scorpio risings. This is a very creative, artistic place. This is where you thrive on passion and hobbies and love and what the heart truly wants. So the universe is like really asking you to get down with some unconditional love, and how you literally radiate that energy into the things that you love, whether that be an art project or a creative project or being a creator in your life, right? Like, these are all really big topics this year for you as a Scorpio rising, along with love and romance and dating, because that's also a aspect of love, right? Your sexuality and children, right? Because of that creation energy, right? And so that's why children is really part of the 5th house too. So this is where your heart really thrives, and getting back to even like your own inner child, and maybe doing some healing or like forgiving of your own inner child letting go and having faith in your creative abilities and, you know, the soul desires that you have, getting in touch with like your soul and getting in touch with the things that really actually make life worthwhile, that feel good. Right now, the downside of this though is getting lost in another reality, getting lost in, you know, just escapism, escaping your life, escaping the things that you need to do. So you do want to be careful with that. Even like escaping with partying or substances or drugs or alcohol or whatever. So you do want to be careful with that energy, because it's going to be very, very prevalent over the next few months, especially for Scorpio rising. So I would just say to be aware of that. You know, there is a such thing as having too much fun, okay? But overall, I think this is a really beautiful transit if you're a Scorpio rising. Like I said, I think this is a new chapter that's going to be really rippling throughout the next couple months of you really getting deep into, like, you know, what your heart truly wants to do, what you really desire, how you want to radiate the energy that you have within outward, right? What you want to put your energy into that feels good, that feels pleasurable, that feels worthwhile, that feels like, you know, a extension of your love for something that's in your life or for something that you're doing. And so anyways, let me know down below, Scorpio risings, how that's resonating and where you think some of these things are going to be playing out in your life. I would really, really love to hear your feedback. I really want to know the tea on what's happening for you guys. And comment down below, sexy Scorpio rising, because you are. And we are going to move on to Sagittarius rising. So for Sagittarius risings, this new moon for you is happening in your 4th house. So this is a very nostalgic time coming up over the next several weeks here, where you are going to be feeling a lot more introverted. You're going to be feeling like you want to spend a lot more time and energy on your personal life and your relationships, okay? Especially with your 4th house ruler, Jupiter, and your chart ruler, Jupiter, being in your 7th house. So there's going to be a massive focus on home and family. There's going to be a massive focus on your private life and your past, and potentially healing, forgiving, releasing karma, and, you know, closing karmic cycles from your past as well. So the name of the game definitely for you, Sagittarius rising, is clearing karma. This goes for your past, your family, your parents, you know, your home life, your ancestry. Like, these are big, big topics that you could really see coming up over the next several weeks. You may have already gotten kind of hints of them leading up to this point, but also your relationships, like your close relationships in your life. Like, these two areas of your life are going to be very, very big topics over the next 2 months. And so, you know, you're really kind of starting this chapter of like going within and finding what really feels truly energetically aligned for you in terms of your home and family life and your place of living and your past, and learning to let things go, learning to trust. Maybe potentially, you know, trust issues and things like that could really be coming up here as well. And some of this could be kind of having a conversation or somehow bringing in the topic of your finances and shared finances with family or other people in some way, shape, or form, with Mars trining a lot of these Piscean transits and Mars being in your 8th house still. So let me know down below, Sag risings, how this is playing out for you. I would really, really love to know how you're seeing all of this so far. So let me know down below, and also comment down below, sexy Sag rising, because you are. And if you missed the first part of the video, go back and watch it. It's going to add a lot more context, okay? So moving on to my lovely Capricorn risings, this new moon in Pisces for you is happening in your 3rd house of your local environment, short travels, you know, learning endeavors, and basically siblings, cousins, neighbors, and extended family, and all kinds of different things like that. And so basically, this may be a busy, volatile time for you over the next several weeks. There may be a lot going on, and it may feel somewhat confusing for you to figure out where to put your time and energy, what to put your time and energy into. This could be a time where you are doing a lot more in terms of your local environment. Like, you could find yourself just running a lot more errands or being a part of a lot more things going on around you or in your city, in your town, in some way, where there's like a large focus on that in some way. Or maybe you are learning a new skill, or you are putting a lot of your effort, focus, and energy into certain family dynamics or family situations in some way, or you are doing a lot, or there's a lot of focus getting put into something that has to do with your job as well, or your health and day-to-day routines, with Jupiter squaring this new moon from your 6th house, and Jupiter also ruling this new moon. So either way, there's some kind of new chapter that is rippling out over the next several weeks and couple months here, of this Pisces conglomerate of transits that's happening in your 3rd house. And so this could also bring up, again, travels, speaking endeavors, or language endeavors. Like some of you guys could be learning a new language, or going to a new place where things are kind of out of the box, or different, or not what you're used to, or going back to somewhere where you've already been, or where you've already visited, or learning something, like relearning something that you already knew, or visiting like a childhood home, or going back to your past in some way, revisiting your past in some way. It could be a lot of things. The 3rd house is just so kind of all over the place, and sometimes hard to really pinpoint when the transits are happening and how they're happening. But this is also really tying in your personal relationships, which have probably been a little bit of a bitch the last couple of months. Like you've probably had a lot of drama, like I've been saying, with your relationships or with your partner, with Mars being retrograde in Cancer in your 7th house. There's probably been a lot of like extreme, intense, up and down emotions, and a lot of things that you've had to face in relationships, or that your partner's been dealing with in some way or another. And this is kind of tying into whatever you're doing in your local environment, community, town, city, with short travels, like all of these other things that I named. Somehow this could be tying into that. Okay, I would really love to hear down below, Capricorn, how you are noticing this so far. What is coming up for you guys? I'd really, really appreciate your feedback. And also comment down below, sexy Capricorn rising, because you are. And if you missed the first part of this video, go back and watch it, because you're missing out on a lot. Also, horoscopes for the whole month of March are coming shortly after this video, so keep that in mind as well. Okay, so Aquarius risings, last but not least, darlings, this new moon for you is happening in your 2nd house of your income, money, assets, finances, the things that you own and that you hold dear to you, the things that are very close to you. Your natural kind of abilities and talents, your values, your priorities. Like, these are the different topics that you're really going to see coming up over the next couple months. This is definitely a new chapter starting here with this new moon that is kind of the start of the ripple that's going to be occurring over the next couple months, to do with your finances, to do with your assets, to do with what you own, to do with, the things that you keep close, the things that are important to you in some way, somehow. Okay. And, this could be a time where you are really learning to trust yourself financially, or you are really learning to kind of surrender to the things that you can't control, and where you are really learning to kind of almost like collaborate with something higher than yourself to, be grateful for the things that you have in some way, right? So some of that could be coming up for you guys. This could also be bringing in certain passions or hobbies, or the topic of children, love, and romance, entertainment in some way as well, with Jupiter ruling this new moon and being in your 5th. But either way, there's some kind of new chapter forming in your 2nd house of income, money, assets, and finances that is really going to be a massive focus over the next several weeks, as you are really figuring out what you really truly want and desire here, and what needs to change, be cleaned up, be reflected on, be let go of, for you to feel like this area is clean and purified and exactly what you actually want it to be in some way. And so you might have these certain ideals about like what you really desire here in terms of your finances and what you want to own, or your assets. This could be a time where you are kind of clearing karma with those things, or something could come back around in some way, with Mercury being in your 2nd and ruling your 8th. This could even be, things coming to you from other people, or, wrongs being kind of taken care of in some way, or you letting go, cleaning things out, letting go of things that, from the past that you maybe have or own that just no longer energetically align with you in some way. So I'd really love to hear your feedback, Aquarius risings, down below, how you are seeing these things play out. And again, you may not see this right on the new moon, but you'll definitely see these topics building over the next couple weeks. So keep that in mind, okay? And comment down below, sexy Aquarius rising, if you're still here, because you are. And if you missed the first part of the video, definitely go back and watch that, because it's going to give you a lot more context on this new moon, okay? And I have March horoscopes coming soon as well. So alrighty, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next one.